Welcome to the City of Evanston Oakton Street Corridor Improvement Study Virtual Open House. Due to the COVID pandemic, a voice-over presentation is provided showcasing the material displayed at the in-person open house scheduled for April 22nd at the Robert Crown Center. The project limits for the Oakton Street Corridor are from the West City limit at the North Shore Channel to Asbury Avenue. This includes 3 different zones: the business zone from the North Shore Channel to Hartree, the park zone from Hartree to Dodge, and the residential zone from Dodge to Asbury. To date, we have provided and compiled a community feedback study and have analyzed the existing conditions. So why improve this corridor? Based on the feedback from the public and our analysis, the main goals of the project are as follows: improve pedestrian safety, calm traffic, improve signalized intersections, provide sidewalk connections, bike connectivity, improve lighting, truck traffic routing, maintaining on-street parking, landscaping improvements. Within the next 4 exhibits, we will go over the entire corridor's existing conditions and 2 alternative proposals to address the goals of the project. I encourage you to pause the video at any time to digest the information. Throughout the presentation, I will zoom in and out of certain areas to discuss more detail. The first exhibit is for the business zone. The top view is the existing condition, while the bottom 2 views are the proposed alternatives. The existing typical travel section is 2 lanes of traffic in both directions, with left turn lanes at the main Home Depot signalized intersection, along with 1 right turn lane from the westbound to northbound movement. The existing posted speed for the entire project is 25 miles per hour, which will remain in both alternatives. The Northern Business Mall also has an entrance just west of Steak and Shake. Vehicles traveling eastbound along Oakton while attempting to turn into the Steak and Shake entrance at times create a backup of cars that goes into the signalized intersection near the gas station. This is also where a car wash is under construction on the north side of Oakton. Both intersections on this exhibit operate at a B level of service or better. Level of service is a qualitative measure used to relate the quality of motor vehicle traffic service. The rating is based on a scale of A to F, A being the most optimal. No bike facilities exist along Oakton Street except for an entrance onto the North Shore Channel Bike Trail, which begins on the north side of Oakton. In Alternative 1, the typical section is not changed from the existing. 2 lanes of traffic will remain in both directions. All roadway improvements will remain within the existing roadway footprint. A formal bus pad will be installed at Hartree Avenue for both eastbound and westbound buses. To calm traffic from the business zone entering the park zone, we are proposing a new bump out at Hartree Avenue. This will decrease the crosswalk distance for pedestrians, along with encourage vehicles to slow down naturally. The west entrance near Steak and Shake in Alt 1 will receive a right-in, right-out treatment, which will be a raised median. This will encourage eastbound cars to enter the Northern Business Mall at the signalized intersection east of Steak and Shake. In Alt 2, the proposed right-in, right-out treatment will be provided by pavement markings. To create a better bike connection from the North Shore Channel Bike Trail to James Park, we are proposing a 10-foot wide shared use path from the bridge on the south side. At the signalized intersection near the new car wash, we are proposing an 8-foot wide shared use path for a complete connection to the trail entrance near the bridge. Adding a shared use path will impact some trees. Existing trees shown in red are symbols for trees to be removed, while red tree symbols with a T are for trees to be transplanted. Within the business district, the bike improvements for Alt 1 and Alt 2 will be the same. Alt 2 within the business zone will have a roadway widening near the west signalized intersection. Pushing the northern curb line at that location will allow for straighter alignment from the bridge to the main Home Depot signalized intersection. This will also allow for new left turn lanes at the west signal into the quad sports and car wash area. This improvement will provide for better traffic flow throughout this intersection. The addition of bus pads and a bump out at Hartree Avenue discussed for Alt 1 will be proposed in Alt 2. 2 driveways on the south side of Oakton Street will be consolidated, one to the animal shelter and one to the recycling center. Both will utilize their access at the Home Depot signalized intersection. As mentioned before, bike improvements for Alt 2 at this location will match what is proposed in Alt 1. Potential bus stop consolidations will occur after coordination with CTAs taken place at a future time. The next exhibit shows the limits from approximately the tennis courts at James Park to Dewey Avenue near Chute Playground. The existing travel section is 1 lane of travel and 1 lane of parking in both directions. The Dodge signalized intersection has 1 through lane and 1 receiving lane in each direction. Eastbound traffic along Oakton Street does have an exclusive right turning lane. Both directions of travel have left turning lanes. Currently, the level of service for this intersection operates at a C level in the AM and an F level in the PM. A bus stop exists near the gas station at the northwest corner of Dodge. The westbound receiving lane at the bus stop location is too narrow for a bus to be stopped and a vehicle to travel around it. This causes many backups into the intersection, providing for an unsafe environment and traffic delays. 2 bump outs exist along this section, one at Gray and one at Dewey. Alternative 1 will keep the typical section the same, with 1 lane of traffic and 1 lane of parking in both directions. However, the travel lane will be reduced to 11 feet, which will encourage cars to travel slower. The extra space will go to the parking lane. The existing sidewalk from James Park to Dodge will be expanded to a 10-foot shared use path from James Park to Dodge Avenue. This will either require potential fence relocation or tree impacts within the parkway. Due to limited space, an 8-foot shared use path is proposed between Dodge and Dewey. This will impact several trees in this location. Gray Avenue bump out will be improved to a raised textured intersection, narrowing of travel width, improved lighting, and updated signage. A raised intersection will be used to calm traffic at this key intersection due to the school crossings. At Dodge intersection, a bus pull out at the northwest corner will be provided. This will allow for buses to stop and traveling vehicles to pass by. Westbound traffic will receive a right turn lane, which will improve the level of service for this intersection from a D to a C. A 5-foot standard sidewalk on the north side of Oakton will be installed between Hartree and Dodge to fill a sidewalk gap. At Dewey, the existing bump out will be improved with lighting, signage, and narrowing of travel width. Alternative 2 will have one lane of travel and one parking lane in both directions, along with a 4-foot painted median. This will reduce the travel width to 10 feet, encouraging slower travel. From James Park to Dodge, the 10-foot shared use path will be the same as Alt 1. Bike improvements east of Dodge will be discussed on another exhibit. Gray Avenue bump out will be improved with lighting, signage, and narrowing of roadway width. No raised or textured intersections will exist for Alt 2. The proposed sidewalk on the north side of Oakton from Hartree to Dodge will be an extension of the existing carriage walk along the curb. This will impact existing light poles and potentially some trees. At Dodge Avenue, the travel section will remain unchanged from existing except for a widening to accommodate the bus stop at the northwest corner, along with timing improvements. The timing improvements will occur at all signalized intersections throughout the corridor. The Dewey bump out will receive the same improvements as Alt 1. The next exhibit shows the limits from Dewey Avenue to the west project limits at Asbury. The existing travel section is a continuation from the previous exhibit of one travel lane and one parking lane in both directions. At Florence, a marked crosswalk does not exist. A bump out does exist at Wesley. The signalized intersection at Asbury has one through lane and one left turn lane in both directions. This intersection currently operates at a level of service of an F. Alternative 1 will retain the same typical section as on the previous exhibit of one through lane and one parking lane in each direction, with the through lane being reduced to 11 feet and the parking lanes being increased to 9 feet. A 10-foot shared use path will continue on the south side of Oakton Street. This will require a number of trees to be removed, potentially a fence relocation at Chute School, along with easement from Little Bean's property. Florence and Wesley intersections will receive a raised textured intersection, a narrowing of travel width, improved lighting, and updated signage. Florence will have a marked crosswalk. At the Asbury intersection, right turn lanes will be installed, which will require a roadway widening. 2 mature trees at the northeast property will need to be removed. This will improve the level of service of the intersection from failing to a level D. Alternative 2 will retain the same proposed typical section as the previous exhibit with 10-foot through lanes, a 4-foot painted median, and parking lanes. Florence and Wesley will be improved with lighting, signage, and narrowing of roadway width. Florence in Alt 2 will also receive a marked crosswalk crossing Oakton Street. The Asbury intersection will retain the existing traffic configuration of one through lane and one left turn lane in each direction. This intersection's AM level of service will improve from failing to a level D, and this will be accomplished mainly by improving signal phase timing. All signalized intersections throughout the project limits will receive audible and countdown pedestrian signals, improved signal timing, and LED signal heads. This is alternative 2 for the bike connection. Due to the easement requirements at Chute and Little Beans, along with tree impacts for the bike connection for Alt 1, this option utilizes Mulford Street 2 blocks south of Oakton. The improvement would be a painted shared bike boulevard along Mulford from James Park near the Levy Center to Asbury Avenue. Additionally, painted bike symbols will be used along Wesley to provide for a connection to Chute School. The final exhibit showcases the lighting improvements. The existing lighting system is a staggered Evanston Talmadge pole system. Within the business zone, the staggered poles are spaced closer than within the park zone. The neighborhood zone has spacing which is furthest apart throughout the project limits. The current system does not meet the City of Evanston lighting standards. Alternative 1 calls for retrofitting the existing Talmadge light fixtures with new LED fixtures. New Talmadge light poles will be installed opposite the existing light poles. These new poles will also have LED light fixtures. At marked crosswalk locations, 2 proposed roadway davit poles will be installed. On the right-hand side, you can find a picture of a traditional Evanston Talmadge pole and a davit roadway pole. This alternative will meet the current Evanston lighting standard. Alternative 2 will call for retrofitting the existing Talmadge light fixtures to LED and installing proposed roadway davit poles at marked crosswalk intersections. However, Alt 2 does not propose installing new Talmadge poles opposite existing ones in order to provide for a more economical solution. This alternative will meet Evanston lighting standards at all marked crosswalk locations. Lighting will improve between marked crossings, however, it will not meet current standard. This concludes the virtual open house presentation. If you have any questions or comments, please visit the City of Evanston project website and follow the instructions in providing feedback. Thank you and have a great day.